Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going through 8 different teams you can try for the Crazed Shellbrute Primal Lord, and these are not just teams you can try, these are the best performing teams after much testing that has been done. And I'm going to tell you the requirements to pull off these teams, and hopefully at the end of it you'll be able to decide which team will allow you to get the highest score for your account. So the first team we have fielded right now, I'm going to use the formation so you guys can get a better look at exactly the positioning of all of these heroes. This is the best considered Crazed Shellbrute team right now. If you haven't invested Phraisto, to pull off this team, you're going to need to have Mythic Plus, plus 10 exclusive equipment Phraisto or more. If you do it at Legendary Plus, you can still get a decent score, but there might be a better team option out there for you. But if you're Mythic Plus, plus 10 or above, then this is going to be hands down the best performing team. The only change to this position compared to the previous video I uploaded is that the whole team is shifted a little bit up further towards the boss so that Kruger and Mikola and even Lily May can begin attacking a little bit faster. It's just like an optimization for that. Okay, moving on to the next team, we have the best version of a Mauler team if your Phraisto is not very invested. For example, let's say you have 1 copy of Phraisto, you can go for a comp like this. Mikola also can work both in this team and the optimal team that we just showed with lower ascension. She doesn't have to be highly ascended. Most of the time she's going to be being eaten by the boss or just there to provide the attack buff from her honor arena, which she provides at 1 copy. For this team, you're going to want to have Smokey to Mythic Plus for his blue aura. That is essential for his damage. Odie and Lily May should be Mythic Plus or above as well, and as high exclusive equipment as you can get on them. But the other two, Phraisto and Mikola, are fine at 1 copy, and you can get a pretty high damage output from this team, and it might be the best for you depending on what other options you have. Let's move on to the next one. The next one here, and the interesting thing is as you look here, a lot of the teams are going to be using Resonating Spell. The only time we change that is when we run a Lightbearer oriented team with massive amount of ultimate casts, and then we change it to Tidecall Spell. Okay, so moving on to the Wilder. This is considered to be, if you're running Phraisto, even at 1 copy or like lower ascension, this team will work just fine. The main Phraisto is buffing up the Brian, and the Phraisto illusion is going to be on the Lily May, because you want the Brian to have as much energy as possible to keep casting his bird, the Ilona, because that is how you break the boss's shield. And Lily May charges up energy fast enough, and she's just kind of waiting for the boss to use her attack, to use his attack, his ultimate, and then she can actually cast her interruption. Iron in the front because we want Iron to take the first eat, and we want the Phraistos to be there because they break the boss's shield effectively with their ultimate, and Smokey again here for the damage. So for this team, you're going to want to have Smokey at Mythic Plus, Lily May at Mythic Plus, Brian can be even 1 copy is totally fine, and Phraisto as well as at 1 copy is fine. Iron here as well can be working at 1 copy. Like, he is mainly here to be a melee hero for the Wilder faction, to tank the gulps of the boss, and he can get some minor magic defense shred to try and increase your Brian and Lily May damage a little bit with his abilities, but he can work even at lower ascension. He doesn't need to be like highly ascended. So this is a great Wilder team to run. Now, arguably though, the next team I'm going to show you might be the overall best team if you're not running the Phraistos as a damage carry. So this might be even better than the Mauler team that we showed you, and it's not even using Phraisto, but it is using Rainier at Mythic Plus. So if you have Rainier at Mythic Plus, you have Lily May Mythic Plus or above, you have Smokey Mythic Plus or above, you can run this team. The other two, Iron, Brian, can work at 1 copy. Of course, if you have them more ascended, especially Brian, your damage will be a little bit higher, but he does his job of breaking the boss's shield effectively, even at 1 copy. So this is going to be a great team for you to try if you don't have Phraisto at all. Maybe you don't have a single copy of him, then this is the team you're going to want to run. If you don't have Phraisto a single copy, you don't have Brian a single copy, then I didn't actually plan for that. So hopefully you have at least one of these. There is a version of a Mauler team you can run, for example with Mikola, Smokey, Odie, Lily May, Rainier, and you can run that, basically the same type of team but with those heroes. Probably Mikola in place of Iron, and then Odie in place of Brian, but actually you would want to give Odie the Resonating Spell, so swap Odie and Lily May. But that would be your Mauler team version of this same one, and that is something you can use if, for example, you don't have Brian as well. But then you need Mikola, and if you don't have Mikola, okay, things are getting too complicated. So hopefully you have either one copy of Brian, one copy of Phraisto, or something like that, and you will be able to run one of these teams. But this team has been performing very, very well, surprisingly outperforming the non-Phraisto damage carry team. So this might be the overall second best team in the game. So this is a very good team for you to try. Okay, moving on. We have the Lightbearer. So like we said for Lightbearers, when you're going to be having Rowan on the energy tile and having massive ultimate casting, you want to go for Tide Call spell to take advantage of that, because you're going to be able to proc it so much and keep the boss debuffed to cause the boss to take increased damage. We have the main Phraisto here in front of the Corrin to give him the energy boost. Although you could also have the main Phraisto in front of the Rowan. It's really up to personal preference, and you can try back and forth and see which one does better. But yeah, my idea behind energy on the Corrin is it will allow him to cast his ultimate a little bit more readily, because Rowan already is kind of like permanently charging himself up, that he might not need the bonus energy, but both are good. And then Smokey here needs to be at Mythic Plus. So for this team, you need to have Smokey at Mythic Plus, you need to have Corrin at Mythic Plus. Everything else can be one copy. We're running the Chippy because Chippy, with his ultimate ability, and now actually his legendary charms too, he has two ways of breaking the boss's shield. Legendary charms now can deal 300% damage each 6 seconds, and with one of his attacks, and his ultimate also has a 300% multiplier. So both are ways of breaking the boss's shield. This is actually not a troll team. This is one of the best Lightbearer teams using Smokey in the game right now. The only upgrade to this would potentially be if you have Sinbad at Supreme Plus, which a lot of people will not have. And this can work with Phraisto one copy, like we said. Corrin, Smokey need to be Mythic Plus if you want to run this. But this is a great team. Okay, moving on to the next team. So this team is just like the previous team, however, it is using Sinbad as your shield breaker. Now, Sinbad is not going to work in this team until he is Supreme Plus. That's why we've labeled at the top here, S Plus Sinbad. Because until he's Supreme Plus, he doesn't unlock his Enhanced Force to increase the power of Duo Cut by 140% to the enemies who are marked as Hitter and Guard, which will be the boss. That is definitely the case. But the Duo Cut ability only has a 240% multiplier. It hits 2 times, but it doesn't matter. Each single hit needs to be 300% or more. So Duo Cut is going to enhance it enough with the Supreme Force, Supreme Plus, that he will be able to break the shield. But until Supreme Plus, he is not effective here. You were better running Chippy in the previous team, and that is why I consider that Chippy team pretty much the best. And the positioning here, energy main Phraisto onto the Rowan, and then damage reduction onto the Sinbad. Like we said in the previous team, it could even be the main Phraisto on the Rowan. Arguably, it is better. But yeah, and those are the teams. That is it. There is one final Lightbearer team, which I didn't mention, and let's just quickly feel that for you guys right now. And this was one of the earliest testing teams we did, and it still is pretty effective. Let me just draw up the Lightbearers here. So Corrin and Rowan are always going to be on the buff tiles. And then finally, the final here will be Cassidy. Cassidy is a very effective shield breaker, especially with the massive ultimate generation from Rowan, like the energy. And also you have the Phrastos to break the boss's shield. With this team, you have pretty much permanent breakage of the boss's shield, and it is very effective for you. Another team you can try though, and a viewer has shared with me, is you can go for Alsa and Chippy. So Chippy can be here. My viewer actually uses Lucius, but I think Chippy is better than Lucius in every way, because Chippy has 2 ways of breaking the boss's shield. Lucius has none, and you don't need the shielding to protect your team unless you're a low level. Let's go ahead and find the Alsa now. Alsa is right over here. And I think don't give her the energy, because something weird happens when you give her that energy gain. She ultimates too quickly at the beginning, and the boss just gulps her first, and that is terrible. You do not want Alsa being gulped in this boss, because that ruins your whole point of running her. She's a shield breaker for this team. So there's another team you can try if you want, but really the other teams I showed probably are going to be better, but these are just some other options with the Tide Call spell for you to try. Now, just another final note before we actually do my final, we're going to do my test run of the overall top performing team. But just to take a look at the Lightbearer team with Chippy, which is, in my opinion, the most easy for people to pull off. You only need Corrin and Smokey at Mythic Plus, and you can get a really good score with this. So these teams, the Lightbearer team does specifically well when your resonating level is lower. So for example, let's say your resonating level is between 600 and 700 right now. it might be the best for you to go for a Lightbearer team instead of the other teams we've shown. When your resonating level gets higher, it seems like the Wilder team does better, or of course the damage carry Phraesto team. But probably if you have like a Supreme Plus or Mythic Plus Phraesto, right from the beginning you should be running the optimal team, which is the team we're just going to do our final attempt of the day with. So this is the best Crazed Shellbrute team. We're going to try to set a new record with this. And in terms of the levels, you want to give the highest level to Phraesto. He's your main damage carry in this comp. Then second highest is Smokey, because he deals the second most amount of damage with his blue aura. And then third would be Lily May, who deals the third most amount of damage in this team. And anyway, guys, we're going to get right into it. Finally, time to use our attempt. Hopefully we can... We're definitely going to set a new record, because we haven't done a run of this double Phraesto comp. But I want to watch... Okay, Kruger gets gulped almost instantly, only time to basically cast one ability, but that is helpful for breaking the boss's shield, because all of Corrin's abilities and his ultimate, other than his normal attack, they all have 300 or above % attack multiplier, which is exactly what is required to break the boss's shield. Lily May is going to break the shield here with her ultimate ability, allowing both Phraestos to go in and deal their damage. Now you'll notice that I had the Phraesto illusion in the tile with the resonating spell. It doesn't matter. They both have identical stats. It doesn't matter which Phraesto you put on which tile or which gets a resonating spell. It will be the same. Just down to RNG. Okay, so with this team and the levels we're at, I'm hoping to get 45 or closer, 44 plus billion damage. I would be really happy with. And for this team, we have 24 or 25, I think, Malefaction talents. I'll tell you the key upgrades you want to get from the talent tree for your damage. But basically, for all comps you're running, you want to get all the damage stats. So for example, attack, haste, penetration, those are really important. Then you want to go get all the damage-oriented skills. For example, for Wilders, one of them is an attack speed boosting skill. For Maulers, you have the skill to deal AoE damage periodically every 5 seconds, and that is going to be damage dealt by these Phraestos to the boss. Those are going to be key to upgrade. Okay, both Kruger and Mikola have been eaten. The reason this comp works so well, yeah, we're setting a massive record, but that's because we were running a single carry Phraesto in the first team testing that we did at the beginning of the day. We haven't tried this team that we're using right now. But yeah, I think this is pretty good. I didn't pay attention to the Mikola positioning. You want the Mikola to be buffing up the Lily May for as long as possible. 7 seconds left. Okay, we're not going to be able to get anywhere close to 44 billion, but even I guess 41 billion I'd be happy with. Yeah, not bad. Okay, we broke 41 billion. To get the 30 chests, you have to get 40 billion damage, which is really tough. And if we take a look at the damage chart, and then after that, it's a very, like, you'll have to do so much more damage to get additional chests. So if you can break 40 billion, that's basically all you need. So looking at this damage, it is very clear. Phraesto is the damage carry. We have the 26 Mauler talents. I'm going to show you exactly the upgrades we have. Okay, so cool. And if we take a look at the leaderboard right now, my top ranking, which is Splash from my guild, he has managed to get 40, almost 6 billion damage with this team, but with the old formation, having heroes back, but with the double Phraesto damage carry. So with the team I just showed, he probably would have gotten like maybe an extra 1 billion damage, maybe up to 46.5 billion damage or so. And we got 41 billion, not bad. Definitely not bad, because we are definitely behind him in resonating levels, and I'm really happy with that. Okay, so anyway guys, that is going to be it, but let's quickly show you the Mauler faction talents that I have. This upgrade is going to make a difference. It does seem to be triggering onto the boss, although this is not a major one. I would definitely consider the left side for the attack much more important, because these attack stats are going to be on both of your Phraestos, who are the damage carries. This is just some minor additional damage, 10% of attack every 5 seconds, which is... it is not as important. So even if you can only get to 24, just go for the left side over here. For the Wilders, you want to ignore the right side. These are all defensive stats, and you want to get all of this though if you can, because this is the maximum. These are all offensive buffs that you have here. Lightbearer, we will eventually want to get this skill upgrade, but other than that, you want left, you want down the middle, because these are all damage upgrades, and then eventually the penetration if you can, but it is a very minor upgrade as well. You don't need this final node. This is your heroes are not dying, so this is not useful at all. Graveborns are not run, and Celestial Hypogear are not run. Okay, anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully this is a good recap and easy for you to now copy these teams and try them depending on which heroes you have built up. And if you guys want to talk to me more, join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. But until the next video, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll hopefully see you in the next one, and good luck on getting good score on the Primal Lord Crazed Shellbrute. But until the next video, everyone, peace out for now, and thank you for watching.